Y'all know I'm so upset. I'm so upset. My delusional villain. No, not before jury when we got Lauren still in the house. Ugh. If y'all are new here, hit subscribe. Do it right now. We got some mess going on. Thumbs up the video. Drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. Do that. Thumbs up the video. It helps so much. Get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Share the video. And yeah, we got a Tuesday episode. I was like, thank God it's this Tuesday and not the following Tuesday. Because if you don't already know, I got 3 shows that are going to be on the next month on Tuesday. Not Big Brother, Dancing with the Stars, Love Island, The Games, and then Salt Lake City Housewives. Yeah, I got too much shit to do. But let's go. Let's get into it. All right, so we get back where we left off, which is Ashley still at Keanu, and she's pretty much telling him, like, don't ever interrupt me again. And he's like, give it a rest. And Rachel's telling him not to talk to her like that. Ashley's like, nobody even likes you in this house but Kelly. And he's telling her again, give it a rest. Rachel's like, why don't you, instead of sitting here antagonizing me and antagonizing her? And I'm like, he's not antagonizing her at this moment in time. But he was like, I mean, if Ashley wants to get his face on the wall, she actually has to win something to do it. He ain't lying. But Ashley, Rachel, and Will, they're in the room, and Ashley's pretty much saying, like, Keanu got so much to say, like, shut up. Like, just shut up for once. But it's just funny because it's like, Keanu do be having a lot to say, but in this moment, he really wasn't doing nothing. They was just unloading on him. I ain't mad at it because that's good TV, but they was gaslighting him. I will admit it. Even though I love Rachel and Ashley, they was gaslighting him. And I'm glad he didn't give them the energy, but he did a little bit. But regardless, it's good TV. Like, I'm watching it to be entertained. They ain't really doing too much. But Ashley, she states that Will was like, that was iconic. Ashley then states too, like, she gonna say what the fuck she want to say. Like, if I got something to say, I'm gonna say it. And we all know that she will. And I love that she will because that's some shit that I would do. Sorry, y'all. It's blurry. But that's some shit that I would do. But Mickey comes in and Will was like, I mean, you read him in front of millions of people. And Rachel's like, yeah, absolutely. But Rachel tells us in her confessional, in her DR, and why do I keep saying confessional? I just did the challenge. In her DR that she's done with Keanu for right now. But Ashley, she's like, Ashley's staying regardless. But if it is Mickey versus Vince, it becomes more complicated because she's really good. She's friends with Mickey in the game, but she also has the alliance with the judges. And she feels like she is indebted to keeping Vince. But Ashley and Mickey, they state one of them has to win that blockbuster, which we're going to get to it. But Mickey, she's crying to Kelly, stating that she's nervous because she knows essentially, like, Ashley got a lot of people that would vote for her. Vince got people that would vote for him. So she knows, like, she got to win. And she's trying to rally up those votes. And she knows that Rachel loves Ashley and she will do anything to keep Ashley there. So Mickey's like, I mean, I just have to win the blockbuster. And Kelly's telling us that she wants Ashley out. Like, she wants Ashley out because that's a number for Rachel. She calls her Rachel's minion. But she's like, I would keep Mickey over Ashley. Which she didn't, but we'll get to it. But she said she would keep Mickey over Ashley. But she has to keep Vince, even though she don't really trust him and don't want him in the game. But she knows essentially that could be a number for her to use in the game. Which, obviously, like, you got to put certain things to the side. Even though she don't trust him, if she needs a number, and at this point in the game, you really need those numbers because we're getting towards the end and you need people that would actually at least vote against your ops as opposed to voting against you. And she knows she could actually use Vince as a number in this moment of time, even though she don't want him there. I'm pretty sure she has the opportunity to get him out. She would. But Morgan comes in. Kelly leaves. Mickey's trying to get to work on Morgan with the votes. She's like, I know you love Vince. I know you love Vince. She ain't lying. And shout out to Vince's girlfriend, who I've seen on social media, apparently has either blocked him or removed his unfollow. She should, because the shit that I saw this morning with Vince going to Morgan and it looked like he might have kissed her either on the cheek, regardless, inappropriate. Like, these two are inappropriate. Like, it was funny at first, but now it's disrespectful. It's been disrespectful, but it's really getting to different levels. And it's like, for a 7-year relationship, but then again, that's the girlfriend's fault too. You should never be in a relationship with a man for 7 years and not have a ring. But disrespectful all around though. But she gets to work on Morgan. Morgan, she's like, I know you love Vince, but I need you to be here for me. Mickey, you know that's not going to happen. But Morgan then tells us that Mickey versus Ashley would be interesting because they do essentially have to either choose between dealing with Mickey or keeping a two-headed snake with Rachel and Ashley together, which eventually would end up ending the judges if she does in fact send Ashley home. But Keanu and Ava, they're in the HOH room, and he's pretty much like, I didn't tell them that. Like, they're basically doing this shit, lying in front of everybody, trying to get people to turn against me. And Rachel came up here literally trying to basically get you on the boat, get you on the block to make sure that Ashley wasn't up there. He's not lying. And he's like, they're not looking out for you. No, they're not. He's not lying. But Ava tells us that there's Keanu's truth, there's Rachel's truth, and then there's the actual truth. She ain't lying. But he's not lying, though. He is telling the truth. But she was like, I'm not sure what the truth is what the truth is actually, in fact. I mixed those words. But she was like, essentially, fuck this house. And he was like, yeah, I agree. But Ashley, she's downstairs asking Ava, why is he trying to pull you up, trying to poison your mind? And Ashley's like, just stop, Keanu. Just stop, Keanu. She's stating this out loud now. And Ava's like, she's sitting there saying too, like, Ava has her own mind. She knows you're a liar. So this is that gaslighting I'm talking about. But he then states that, Ashley, you haven't done anything in this game at this point, so why are you coming up to me trying to tell me shit? Just going back and forth now. So Ashley's like, you pulled Ava to flip the vote. Keanu's like, that's not even what it was. So he's like to Rachel, like, why are you lying? And she's like, what did I lie about? And he's like, did I not tell you that Ashley was a fourth consideration for a nomination for the fourth person? And she's like, you did? And he's like, so what are we doing? Because he's proven that they're pretty much trying to state that he was lying when he wasn't lying. But Rachel's like, we're sick of it. She didn't want to address it. She's gaslighting him. She's like, you're arrogant, you're disrespectful. And he's confused. He's like, what am I doing that's disrespectful? And she's like, you don't need to raise your voice at us. He wasn't raising his voice. They were the ones raising their voice. But he's like, I'm not. And he wasn't. But Will clocks in his DR, that Rachel is basically trying to gaslight him. Like, she's trying to bait him into giving her a reaction, and he just ain't giving it to her yet. But Ashley then tells him, like, when you pull Ava, you sitting here trying to manipulate her mind, and she's a strong, grown woman and has her own mind. Ava hears them going back and forth and is like, hey, keep my name out of it. I don't want my name in this conversation. If y'all having an issue, leave me out of it. I feel her. But she gets in her confessionals and states, her DR, I keep talking about challenge-wise. That's what happens when I film on both days, on the same day. But Ava tells us that the last thing that she wants is her name being dragged into their mess. But obviously she loves it because she ain't used to hearing people fighting over her, basically. And she's loving hearing her name in this conversation. But she walks back and says, if you say an Ava, make sure you say Ava Pearl. She's a trip. But Vince, he's worried because Ava is basically a swing vote. And her being dragged into this mess could turn her against Keanu. And he don't want that happening. Obviously, he's concerned. He's paranoid. But we get a lot of scenes of Mickey pretty much trying to rally votes. She goes to Will knowing that Will is pretty much attached to Ashley. She gets a 50-50 answer. She don't like that. She moves to Ava. Ava's bullshitting her. As we all know, if you watch the feed, she can't stand Mickey. So she's been waiting on the opportunity to get her out. Same thing with Will. She don't really know. So she's now talking to Vince. And he feels like he has the votes against Ashley when it comes to Mickey. Like, if Mickey was off the block, he feels like he would have Mickey as a vote. He promises her that he would keep her safe if it's her against Ashley. He actually kept true to that. He kept true to that. But she states that she would do the same, which I don't believe she would. But she says she's worried about the aftermath if she was to do it. If she was to keep Vince against Ashley, she's worried about Will, Rachel, and Ava if she does, because she thinks Ava would care. Will, Rachel, and Ava, they would be basically on her head because she basically voted to keep Vince over Ashley, which is what they would expect her to not do. But Mickey tells us that she loves that he basically would keep her, but she can't confirm to him that she would do that because she doesn't know for sure if she would, but it would be beneficial to her game. It kind of would be. If I'm sitting here thinking, it's benefits to keep both of them from Mickey's game, because Ashley, obviously that is an alliance member. Like, Ashley would keep Mickey as far as she can because she needs her as a shield, which would prolong Mickey's chances in the game. But if she was to keep Vince too, that's a shield for her. Like, Mickey's the shield for Ashley, but Vince is the shield for Mickey. So, I mean, whatever. But Mickey, Rachel, Ashley, and Will, they're talking. I'm sad this is the last conversation that we get of the four of them. They're talking about Morgan, Vince, and Keanu being up there in the HOH. And they're like, we got to break this shit up. Like, what is that? So Ashley's like, Morgan and Lauren are pretty much connected because of Vince. And that side would break and would weaken if Vince is gone. That is the truth. Ashley got to read. But Rachel says that they think that 4 with Kelly as a side piece, that's a problem because they have the numbers. Because those numbers against us, that's not going to work out well. Clocking it. But Mickey says if Vince goes, Keanu would look crazy because he put up his number one ally who actually got sent home. He would look crazy. You would know something about that, Mickey, because you sent home. That was the downfall of Mickey's game. But Will tells us that Mickey's one of his closest friends in the game. And even though he's got the judges, which is his most solidified alliance, it's tough because he has to basically decide if he wants to stick with the alliance or vote out one of his friends. But Rachel tells us the plan has always been to keep Vince and stick with the judges. But if he's out of the equation, that side would scramble. And the rest of the judges and Ava, essentially, they could run the rest of the game. Now the vote is not as clear cut as it once was at the beginning of the week. But we move to the blockbuster, which is called Forensic Frenzy. They're in a box with all these different colored balls. They have to snatch the balls and put them in place. They have a cylinder on the side, and they have these pictures of the colors that they want them to have them stacked as. So you have to pretty much stack all the balls in and finish the fastest. And whoever does it the fastest wins. I was so upset because Mickey, if she was moving faster and stopped moving slower, she would have won. And we could have had a different outcome. She was so close to beating Vince, but Vince wins. I was so mad. Ashley wouldn't even. Ashley had hers up, but I think she messed up because she had to take her balls all the way out. But it was Mickey versus Vince, and she was close, but Vince won. I'm so upset because Mickey should have been in the damn jury. Like she is we need that villain, but they do that. They head back and inform everybody that Vince won, and guess who was Morgan, have some shame. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, they already know how close you are, but you making it painfully obvious. And then not only that, how you're looking to the public, like crazy. But they do their speeches. We get to the votes. Vince votes to evict Ashley. That was the shock to me. I was like, oh shit. I said, because if Vince voting to evict Ashley, Morgan's probably going to do it. Kelly's definitely been stating that she wants Ashley to go home. And then I'm thinking Lauren would do it too. I'm like, oh shit, Ashley, you might be in trouble. But Rachel comes in there and votes for Mickey to go home. Knew that. Will votes to evict Mickey. Knew that. Kelly comes in there and votes to evict Mickey. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, Mickey, you gone. You gone. So Kelly votes to evict Mickey. Lauren does as well. Morgan does as well. Ava does as well. And Ava couldn't wait to get in there and do it. She said, I happily vote to evict Mickey. I'm like, damn. Mickey gets evicted on a 6-1 vote, and whenever the vote was revealed, she was shocked. As you see with my thumbnail, shocked. I said she is delusional to the end. That's why I love Mickey. Like, I love her. She's good TV. She is good TV. I want her back for another season. Like, she's good TV. Gold. Like, her delusional sense of the game, entertaining to watch. It's extremely entertaining to watch. I love her as a villain. She was literally playing into that role for real. Her delivery in the DR, she's one of the best in the DR that I've seen in my 27? We in 27? Yeah, my 27 seasons of watching this show. The US version. I've watched other Canadian versions, Australian versions. She's one of the best in the DR for me. But her interview with Julie, she thinks that Morgan was the vote to keep her, which Julie told her no, it was actually Vince. But she pretty much alluded to the fact of her possibly throwing the blockbuster. And I was like, did you really do that? Because if you did, then you deserve to go home, Mickey. Because what the fuck? Like, she could have won. And if she did throw it, I'm mad at you. Because what? But Julie tells her that. Julie tells her about the judges. Mickey was surprised. She says she felt most betrayed by Will and Morgan. And she feels like Morgan and Will are in the best position in the game. Morgan's definitely not. But Will absolutely is in the best position in the game. But like I said at the beginning, Julie let them know that they're in jury. Everybody's happy, and we got a Tuesday episode. We don't have an episode on Sunday, so y'all ain't gonna see me on Big Brother on Sunday. But Tuesday, I will see y'all then. But thumbs up the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Drop your comments. Subscribe, share, and I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Peace.